What's going on, guys? My name's Buzz, and this is my Inter Milan versus Sampdoria match review. And took some notes on my notepad I'm going to cover. But this is our first league match after 3 months of no football. Our first league match. Inter's already played against Napoli in the second leg of Coppa Italia, which, as you can tell, Napoli went on to go and win and beat Juventus. So congratulations to Napoli and Gattuso, and yeah, it's funny seeing Juventus lose. But as for our match against Sampdoria, we ended up winning 2-1 with the goals from Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez. I took notes of some things that I noticed. This is the second match after 3 months of no football that we've started to play a new formation. 3-4-1-2, and this is also the second match after 3 months of no football that we actually see Christian Eriksen get a start. Some things I noticed about this is it still fits similar to what Antonio Conte's playstyle is: 2 strikers, 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, and basically somewhat of a midfield 3, but basically just a 4 in the sense with 2 center defensive mids and what I like to call the number 10 role, or a cam, which Christian Eriksen plays. It still allows for 2 strikers and 2 wingbacks. With this formation as well, I noticed during the Napoli match is we were pressing a lot more. We were playing a very high line, so I guess this formation is more or less, to press, not press too hard, but press. Man, I'm trying to think of the word. Press and more counter-attacking, and just play high line and get ball retention. It's only our second match running this formation, and we played not very good Sampdoria team. It was pretty good. But I looked at their league form, where they're at on the table, and they're close to relegation. So, but they're not. But still, you play whoever you're playing against. And yeah. One thing I did notice is Milan Skriniar was making overlapping runs, sometimes going up and down on the wing, covering where Candreva would be, which I'm not sure if that's Antonio Conte's instructions for Skriniar to be making that run, or if that's just Skriniar doing it on his own. Because I noticed Candreva kept trying to cut inside and whip the ball into Lukaku to get on the end of. But things that I did like and notice was Lukaku and Eriksen link-up play on that first goal was magic right there. Just seeing him get the 1-2s in, and then right before Lukaku scored was really good. And then Candreva's attempt in the 20th minute, whenever he tried shooting a rocket, if it had just dipped in, that would have more than likely been goal of the season, in my opinion. But for the second goal, it's actually good to see Candreva use his brain and his intelligence coming through to actually square the ball away to Martinez for the second goal. But I noticed right after the second half, within 10 minutes, we ended up conceding to a goal scored by Thorsby off of a corner. Which, I don't know. For some reason, anytime there have been multiple games this season, Lazio being one of them, Barcelona, the first leg of Barcelona, Dortmund, where we play a good first half, and our second half we come out and it's like we're tired, fatigued, steamed out, as if literally we drained all our energy within 45 minutes. And that's something I'm sure Antonio Conte will work more on, and I'll touch more on that when I do a end of season review, because that's actually one of the things I had addressed, as well as closing games out, because literally within them scoring that, it's just like, oh, yep, this is the same old Inter. It's basically no different from when Spalletti took over. The only difference is we have third lockdown, but we ended up seeing the game off and taking away a 2-1 victory. Not criticism, but one thing I noticed that Antonio Conte does a lot and might need addressing in the future, especially going forward with the way the schedule is, playing a game every 4 or 5 days, or every 3 to 4 to 5 days, is substitutions. It can't be way too late. It needs to be a little bit earlier, just so some players don't get fatigued or some players don't get run out, or you wait till like the 85th minute and then Martinez probably already pulled something when he could have more than likely been off at the 65th minute. But yeah, I'd actually like to see Alexis Sanchez get a start. Hopefully for the Sassuolo game, which I'm going to do a preview near the end of this review. As well as closing off games. Substitutions and closing off games were the only two things that I took away. As well as also, yeah, that midfield, besides Barella, did fantastic, didn't put a foot wrong, literally kept running, kept pushing, kept fighting. That Sampdoria match, Tonali and another midfielder are going to be very crucial. Or if we can get another midfielder, maybe Raja Nainggolan can come back or something. Because Gagliardini ain't really cutting the mustard, and without Brozovic, you can basically tell that midfield is kind of non-existent. Vecino is pretty good as a Brozovic replacement, in my opinion. But Gagliardini, I mean, I literally tweeted, ladies and gentlemen, his only contribution to the game is getting booked for simulation. That's literally all he did. That's literally all his presence was, is, oh, I'm fall over, and then you get booked for y'all acting like an idiot. So, Gagliardini, if you're watching this video, that's for you. But, yeah. And the reason, one of the issues why I brought up closing out games is many criticism is because Juventus took on Bologna earlier, and you can tell that basically that's a team that fights for a Scudetto. And it's not even Sarri's tactics, it's down to individual brilliance and a team mentality, mentality of fighters that have basically gone through this before. Like, they know how to close out a game. They went up 2-0. They went up by 2 in the 36th minute with Dybala scoring, and for literally 54 minutes, yeah, for the rest of the 54 minutes, they held on without conceding or looking like they're going to blow their cool. So hopefully that's the issue that's addressed earlier, or addressed towards next season, especially with bringing in new players, and especially different approaches. I actually like the 3-4-1-2. It's a good alternative to Conte's 3-5-2, especially if Christian Eriksen can't play. You can always revert back to the 3-5-2 or keep the 3-4-1-2. Or maybe bring in Valera if you want to give Christian Eriksen a rest. That might might be a bit controversial if maybe he can fit the role, but I think he probably could. We take on Sassuolo on June 24th, which is Wednesday. And the team I would line up with is giving, honestly, probably Lautaro Martinez a rest, or maybe Lukaku a rest, either one of the two. But I would start Alexis Sanchez because, I mean, one of the two strikers need to rest, and we're going to be playing 3 or 4 or 5 days apart from each game till the end of July. And I would give some of the wing backs a rest. I mean, I would only give them a rest and freshen up if it looks like they're fatigued. We're basically without Stefano Sensi, without Brozovic, and without Vecino, so Barella and Gagliardini are just going to have to do, especially with Barella, because, I mean, I don't want him to pick up an injury, because he's basically our second best midfielder, along with Brozovic, who basically can do defensive work as well as going forward. Bastoni's playing. It's one of my favorite Inter players at the moment is Alessandro Bastoni in the back. A young center back is probably going to do wonders under Antonio Conte, and hopefully he can be world class one day. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I would actually start Godin. I'd start Godin. Handanovic stays. Padelli is to stay very, very far away from the stadium. So I'd start Godin, Skriniar, De Vrij hasn't put a foot wrong. Skriniar making overlapping runs. So I'd actually like to see how this works out. Kondrał actually would rest Kondrava. I actually want to see Victor Moses start, and maybe an Asamoah start as well. Asamoah or Christian Borghi. Christian Eriksen stays because he needs to play and he needs to also see how this formation keeps going moving forward for the next few games before trying to do something different or revert back to a regular 3-5-2 formation. And Alexis Sanchez gets to start. So that's who I would start, or that's my lineup for Sassuolo. Our match against Sassuolo is Alexis Sanchez starts. Alexis Sanchez replaces one of the front two. Victor Moses and Christian Borghi replace our wing backs. And then Godin comes in for Bastoni, just to give Bastoni a rest. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed a little match review and a little preview of Sassuolo. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. If there's anything you feel I missed or didn't touch on correctly, or anything you'd like to add, feel free to drop a comment below, and I'll be sure to read it and get back to you guys. Hopefully you guys are having a good week, and hopefully you're not locked down in quarantine anymore, or if you are, you're wearing a face mask and being safe. But that's it for my review. See you guys after the Sassuolo match. Maybe I might end up covering 2 matches, a review. I'll try to do that. But for sure with the Europa League match and our match against Getafe, I will be covering that, doing a match preview and review, 2 separate videos going forward, as well as more interesting football related content coming this upcoming months and summer. So yeah, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you guys.